Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and I'm thrilled to have Sam with me today. We're diving into something that's reshaping enterprise AI right now, Agentic AI Development and multi-agent orchestration. Sam, this isn't just hype, right? We're seeing real traction in enterprises building these systems.
Absolutely. What's fascinating is the timing. We've moved past the era where a chatbot could satisfy enterprise needs. Now we're seeing organizations deploy autonomous agents that can orchestrate complex workflows, evaluate their own performance, and do it all while staying compliant with frameworks like the EU AI Act. It's a completely different beast.
So when we talk about Agentic AI, what exactly separates it from the RAG systems or chatbots that companies have been using? I think that distinction matters for our listeners who might be evaluating these technologies.
Great question. Traditional chatbots and RAG systems are fundamentally reactive. You feed them context, they retrieve information, they generate a response, and they hand it off to you. An agentic system flips that completely. An AI agent perceives intent, reasons about available tools and workflows, plans multi-step execution, acts by calling APIs and databases, and then evaluates its own outcomes to self-correct. It's autonomous in a way that earlier systems just weren't.
That sounds powerful, but also complex. Give us a concrete example of where that autonomy actually creates business value.
Consider financial services. A traditional chatbot might ask a customer about their loan application and hand them off to a human officer. A multi-agent system handles the entire workflow. An intake agent parses the request, specialist agents conduct legal review, financial analysis, risk assessment, all in parallel or sequence, and an orchestrator aggregates the results. One financial services firm using this approach saw 45% faster loan approvals and a 22% reduction in fraud losses. That's not incremental, that's transformative.
Wow, those numbers are compelling. And I imagine the compliance angle is equally important, especially for European enterprises. Tell us why that matters so much right now.
The EU AI Act became effective in August 2024, and it mandates documentation, audit trails, and human oversight for high-risk AI systems. If you're building agents without governance-first architecture, you're essentially building debt. But enterprises that design agents with compliance baked in from day one, with evaluation frameworks, clear decision logging, and oversight mechanisms, they actually simplify their compliance posture and reduce operational risk.
So it's not a burden to design for compliance. It's actually a competitive advantage if done right. Let's talk about the orchestration itself. How do enterprises actually structure multiple agents working together?
There are three main patterns. First, hierarchical orchestration. A central manager agent delegates subtasks to specialized agents. It's deterministic and auditable, which compliance teams love, but it can become a bottleneck under high load. Second, peer-to-peer. Agents negotiate and share context directly. Faster and more resilient, but harder to trace decision logic if something goes wrong.
And I'm guessing there's a third option that tries to balance both?
Exactly. Hybrid approaches run critical paths through a central orchestrator for auditability, while allowing peer agents to collaborate on lower-risk tasks. That's usually the sweet spot for enterprises. You get speed, resilience, and the compliance trail you need.
That makes sense. Now, from a practical standpoint, what do enterprises need to actually build this? Are there SDKs or frameworks that make this easier?
Absolutely. Modern AI agent SDKs handle the plumbing, connecting agents, managing context, handling retries, logging interactions. They're essential because building all of that from scratch is expensive and error-prone. A good SDK abstracts away the infrastructure complexity so architects can focus on domain logic and governance.
And once these agents are deployed, how do you know they're actually performing as intended? Evaluation seems critical.
It's everything. Enterprises need evaluation frameworks that measure agent performance against real-world SLAs, accuracy, latency, cost, compliance adherence. What's striking is that companies deploying agents with structured evaluation and governance frameworks see 2.8x faster ROI compared to those deploying agents without oversight. That gap exists because ungoverned CD agents produce unpredictable outcomes, which creates risk and slows adoption.
So evaluation isn't just about monitoring, it's about accelerating the value realization. What should enterprises focus on first when they're planning to adopt agentic AI?
Start with clarity on the workflow you're automating. What are the decision points? What expertise is required? Can it be distributed across specialized agents, or does a single agent suffice? Then map the compliance requirements, not just EU AI Act, but your industry's specific frameworks. Finally, select an orchestration pattern and SDK that align with both the workflow complexity and your governance needs. Design for auditability from day one.
That's solid guidance. And just to pull back for a second, what's driving this adoption curve? Why are 2/3 of enterprises planning to deploy autonomous agents in production within 18 months?
Three things converge. 1. Cost efficiency. Agentic workflows reduce human intervention in high-value, repetitive tasks. 2. Regulatory readiness. The governance frameworks are finally maturing, and compliance-first architecture is now practical. 3. Model capability. LLMs are now reliable enough to handle tool use, reasoning, and long context planning in ways they simply weren't a couple of years ago. The technical foundations are solid.
And we're seeing real operational cost reductions, right? What's the magnitude we should expect?
Workflow automation powered by agent systems is expected to reduce operational costs by 30 to 40% in knowledge-intensive industries: finance, legal, procurement, supply chain. That's not a modest improvement, that's genuinely transformative for enterprises managing thin margins.
All right, so for someone listening who's tasked with evaluating agentic AI for their organization, what's the one thing they should keep in mind?
Don't separate architecture from governance. The best agentic AI systems, the ones that deliver reliable value and stay compliant, are designed with both technical excellence and oversight as first-class concerns from day one. It's not an add-on, it's foundational.
Excellent. Sam, thanks for walking us through this. For our listeners who want to go deeper on agentic AI development, orchestration patterns, SDK selection, and EU compliance frameworks, head over to etherlink.ai and find the full blog post. It's comprehensive and actionable. Thanks for tuning in to EtherLink AI Insights.
Thanks for having me, Alex. Great conversation.